The U.S. State Department, who is responsible for issuing passports, it turns out, does have a national category. But people get confused about this because their definition of national is all U.S. citizens are U.S. nationals, but there are some U.S. nationals who are not U.S. citizens. And their definition is a U.S. national is a person born in or having ties with an outlying possession of the United States. And it also includes individuals born abroad to two U.S. national parents. So people are getting confused with the State Department definition of national and our definition of American state national.
Right. The only importance of that particular piece of code is that they do recognize state nationals as a political status, even in their own system.
Exactly.
That's why it's important. It's not that we're state nationals in their system. It's that they recognize it as a valid political status, even in their system.
Mm-hmm.
So they can't very well then come back to us and say, oh, well, we don't recognize state nationals. Well, yes, you do recognize state nationals. You have state nationals in your own system. So.
But I guess the question is if you've obtained a passport, do you want to go back to the U.S. State Department and say, I want to be in your state national category?
No, because you're not a state national in their system. You're a state national in our system.
Right.
Okay. And if you have a passport that was issued by them under the false perception or presumption that you are a municipal citizen or a territorial citizen, the way that you make the distinction is by the way you sign the passport.
Yep. And just a quick review of that for everybody would be great.
Well, the quick review of it is that instead of just signing it and leaving your signature wide open to being interpreted however they want to interpret it, you claim your own signature, you use a byline as if you were a reporter writing a story and you wanted to claim copyright on it, right? Mm-hmm. Then you write by, : your signature, all rights reserved.
Do we need to add the without prejudice or?
You can. It doesn't, it's just sort of like reiterating what you already said, but you can if you want to. In
Sure.
my case, I wrote retired.
Oh, yeah.
I mean.
And when you write retired, you're meaning I've retired from any presumptions.
Right. I've retired from your system. I am not part of it. And in my case, I literally am retired. I'm semi-retired. So, I mean, what are you going to do? I don't work for you anymore. I don't work for anybody anymore. Bye.
And then there's a global stamp that is also placed on the passport, right?
Right. You're basically mailing yourself wherever it is you're going. Okay, so you place a global stamp on it and you cancel it by writing you just sign over the stamp, right? And then wherever you're departing from, mine would say Anna Maria Reisinger, Big Lake, Alaska. And that is the same basic process that they're doing when you are getting these stamps. You're going through customs and they go stamp, and they say, oh, well, she entered the country on this date at this time in this place. You're doing the same thing, only you're doing the exit part of it. Mm. You're basically mailing yourself to the rest of the world. And here's where you're exiting from. Big Lake, Alaska. All right. That's your point of departure, wherever you're going to go from there, because that's, where you live.
Right. Okay.
And so you're basically mailing yourself out there. And then when they receive you, right, when the Postal Service at the other end of the line sees that you have arrived in Sweden, they go, arrived in Stockholm, blah, 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 confirmed a receipt, da, da, da. And she's in custody here of our government during her visit, and she has to obey our law during her visit. Who knew, right? I mean, doesn't it make sense that if I go to Sweden, I should have to obey Swedish law?
Yeah.
And if I go to Britain, I'm going to drive on the left-hand side of the road. No matter how stupid it seems to me, I'm going to go ahead and obey their law because I'm visiting their country.
Right, right, exactly. Okay, thank you for that reminder.
Learn how to become an American state national or American state citizen by navigating to www.theamericanstatesassembly.net. Links to Anna's articles and resources can be found in the video description box. Thank you for subscribing, liking, sharing and commenting.